I sit here with sadness today to report to you that I'm incredibly disappointed in one of my all-time favorite fighters, my brother, Floyd Money Mayweather. Ladies and gentlemen, chaos broke out. And I'm not talking about legit, bona fide boxing, pure boxing chaos. I'm talking about the kind of stuff that's just embarrassing. Look at this here, please.
This is a beautiful house, my man. How many square feet is this?
A little bit over 20,000 square feet, 3 or 4 levels.
Money Mayweather, seems appropriate that you would be living in Vegas.
My mentality is always about, working smarter, not harder.
Floyd Money Mayweather, the illusion of a billion-dollar empire? Once hailed as the undisputed king of the ring and the blueprint for athletic wealth, Floyd Money Mayweather is now at the center of a swirling financial controversy. ESPN's Stephen A. Smith is raising eyebrows, questioning whether the champ's empire is as solid as he's long claimed. Could Mayweather be facing the one opponent he can't dodge? Financial ruin? The storm centers around
the million-dollar garage.
I know we're on television, Floyd, but I think it's necessary for me to say, damn.
Well, we on this car costs $3.2 million. This Bugatti right here costs $1.6 million. It's close to $15 million. You're right, it's close to $15 million.
And you don't drive them.
No.
A staggering $42 million scandal that's shaking the foundations of the boxing world. For years, Mayweather built his brand on being the highest-paid athlete alive, flaunting $100 million fight purses and jet-setting with luxury watches and thick stacks.
She did.
Who got the highest gate?
Floyd Mayweather.
Who made the most money?
You did.
Who was the most accurate fighter of all time?
You were.
So it's basically saying that...
The greatest of all time.
Okay.
Of cash. But now, a familiar voice from the combat sports world is calling the bluff. Former UFC title challenger and outspoken analyst, Chael Sonnen is pulling no punches, branding Mayweather's fortune one of the greatest illusions in sports history. According to Sonnen, those iconic 9-figure paydays might...
This phrase, fake news.
Yeah.
Why is he saying that? What does that even mean? You can trust the news. There's no such thing as fake. People were dressed up as empty seats, and I mean thousands of people.
No.
I bought my mother's ticket that day. That day, my mother decides that she wants to go to the fight. So I'm in there, and I'm telling the world that this place is sold out because that's what's on the screen. And it's not even close. Yeah. This isn't like, it's pretty much there's thousands of empty seats. That was the first time that in my own life I ever just, wow, fake news is real.
Wow.
And then Mayweather, they wanted to
have been nothing more than clever marketing, without receipts, without third-party verification, without a single network or sponsor confirming the checks. It's a harsh narrative shift. Was Mayweather's empire built not on real earnings, but on carefully curated headlines and smoke and mirrors promotion? As the questions mount, one thing...
Whoever puts that press release and sends it out, never has a company that's publicly traded had an executive back those numbers. They're all lies.
It's clear. This could be the toughest fight of Mayweather's career, and it's taking place outside the ring. Is Floyd Mayweather's empire crumbling beneath the glitter? It's a brutal question, but one that can't be ignored anymore. Was Floyd Mayweather's empire ever built on solid checks, or was it all just hype, ego, and PR smoke and mirrors? Chael Sonnen might be loud, but he's not alone in sounding the alarm. Lawsuits, unpaid jewelry bills, a crypto scam case still hanging over his head. The money brand looks less like a billion-dollar empire and more like a sinking ship. For years, Mayweather wasn't just a boxer. He was the embodiment of untouchable wealth. The man who made private jets, million-dollar watches, and duffel bags of cash feel like everyday accessories. But behind the silk robes and Lamborghini selfies, the cracks are showing, and they're spreading fast. The uncomfortable truth? Mayweather might be broke. No one wants to say it out loud except the people who used to trade punches with him. Even Oscar De La Hoya, a former bitter rival turned occasional ally, couldn't dodge the reality any longer. For a man who's often defended Mayweather in public, De La Hoya's recent comments sounded less like criticism and more like a financial eulogy. He knows the game, both in the ring and in the boardroom. If he's expressing sympathy instead of throwing jabs, something seriously off, sympathy from a former rival, that speaks louder than any bank statement, and the signs are everywhere. Lawsuits stacking up, rumors of sold-off assets, a parade of exhibition fights that feel more like cash grabs than competitive events. All of it hints at a truth the public never wanted to believe, that the billion-dollar mystique may have been a mirage all along. But Mayweather didn't stay quiet either. While De La Hoya plays the part of a concerned veteran, Floyd made sure to remind everyone of their shared business history, and it wasn't exactly clean. According to Mayweather, De La Hoya has played his own games behind closed doors. Shady, deals, hidden payoffs, backroom arrangements, and now those same tactics are surfacing in Floyd's world. Lawsuits, unpaid debts, whispers of financial...
We helped build this guy up. He was fighting on my undercard. He was the co-main. We helped build this guy up. And you know what Oscar De La Hoya do? You know what Mr. Loyal Oscar De La Hoya do? I'm sorry, Miss Disloyal Oscar De La Hoya do? He take him right over to HBO and cut a deal with HBO. And when he cut the deal, he got money, but I bet Canelo didn't see none. But these are the things that people don't know about in a sport of boxing.
I got paid. I got paid. Just not in full. Like a couple million somehow that is just missing. Where did the money go? Floyd said he could afford a Jeff Bezos-sized jet from the money he made from that fight. I ain't got a jet. Fuck, dude. I'm missing a couple mil. We're gonna find it, bro. I'll see you in court. The art is happening. Just like, mark my words, we're coming for you, Floyd. We're coming for your millions, and the last thing you...
House of Cards behavior. The illusion is fading, and the critics are multiplying. Even fellow fighters have started to pull the curtain back. Logan Paul, who stood across from Mayweather in the ring, still hasn't been paid in full, if you believe his claims. And he's not holding back. His frustration is raw, and it echoes what others are starting to say. The king of boxing's wealth may have been bluffed. All along, missing millions, silent payouts, and the cracks in the money empire, another court case. Another missing payout, and yet another crack in the ever-fragile facade of the Money Mayweather brand. What was sold as a glitzy exhibition fight has spiraled into a courtroom chase for millions, and Logan Paul isn't the only one asking.
Just like I'm still collecting checks from fights 7 or 8 years ago. I'm still collecting checks. Why? Because I made smart moves, and I'm my own boss. So they hate when a table is turned. Right. You know, look how many years they've been owing us money. But we don't never trip. So now when the table is turned, they say, oh, you owe us something. Be happy with the biggest payday you ever got in your life.
Who stood across from Mayweather in the ring, still hasn't been paid in full, if you believe his claims. And he's not holding back. When fighters have to lawyer up just to collect what they're owed, it raises a question that's getting harder to ignore. Is Mayweather's billion-dollar empire already running on fumes? Logan Paul's lawsuit claims Mayweather still hasn't paid him in full for their pay-per-view showdown. But Floyd, in true Mayweather fashion, didn't flinch. He brushed it off with signature confidence, deflecting blame, calling it just business, and treating the lawsuit like it was pocket change. But timing is everything, and this lawsuit didn't land in a vacuum. With unpaid opponents, jewelers suing for outstanding bills, and swirling rumors of quiet asset sales.
He is the promotional arm of his fights. It's why, in part, he makes so much money, because whereas a normal promotional company will take 30%, he is that. And so oftentimes for his fights, before the tickets can go on sale to the public, or like right as they go on sale, he'll buy a whole wing, a whole section, and then he'll sell them at a higher price, marked up, so he can make, you know,
like all the floor seats. He takes all of them.
All of them, 3, 4, 5x, and it's part of his business.
Mayweather's financial fortress is starting to look more like smoke and mirrors. The empire built on flexing wealth now faces pressure from every direction, and no amount of PR spin can silence the growing list of people still waiting for checks to clear. Logan's side of the story, though, cuts even deeper. His public breakdown of the financial arrangement didn't just spotlight one missing payday, it exposed a business model that fans rarely get to see. Mayweather wasn't just cashing in from inside the ring. He was flipping the entire fight game on its head, buying out ticket sections before they went public and reselling them for massive profits. A smart move? Sure. Illegal? Not at all. But Logan claims that the real issue wasn't the hustle. It was the vanishing millions. Investors, according to him, were left in the dark while the money disappeared once the dust settled. And that's where the illusion begins to unravel. Mayweather built his legacy around control of opponents.
This particular lawsuit, he had an investor pay $1.4 million in total for this section, and the investor was promised that the seats would sell at I think a 7 to 8x multiple, and you know, he expected a return on his investment, and sure enough, He didn't get his initial investment back. He's strung along. He gets like $100K here and there, strung along, not getting paid. Now his investment allegedly is being rolled into Floyd's alleged fight with Manny Pacquiao. And so the investors being strung along on this thing. And eventually, like us, it's like, yo, we're simply not getting paid in full. Like, we've been fucking dragged along for way too long now, and this guy finally filed a lawsuit against Floyd Mayweather. So that's the one that's actually active and pending. And then here we are.
Of optics, of outcomes. But with lawsuits piling up and payments going AWOL, it's starting to look like the only thing he can't control anymore. Is the truth the empire that flexed too hard? What began as a savvy business move has now spiraled into a storm of broken promises, unpaid dues, and lawsuits. Logan Paul's accusations didn't just come out of nowhere, they echoed a pattern that's becoming impossible to ignore. A growing lineup of fighters, investors, and business partners are all saying the same thing. Floyd Mayweather still owes them. On the surface, Mayweather's brand still screams opulence, private jets, diamond watches, and shopping sprees that look more like movie scenes than real life. But beneath the glitter, the cracks are showing. And this time, it's not the media stirring the pot. It's the very people who stood beside him in the spotlight, and across from him.
Or is that something that you can't disclose right now?
He has not paid me in full. That is a fact.
No
short a few mil, yeah.
Wow. Still a few mil.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Have you been in contact with him?
Nah, we're taking this one to court.
No, are you being serious? Is this like a...
Do I look serious, lady?
You do. I'm just making sure. I apologize.
Really?
I'm just...
Nah, I'm fucking with you. I'm not fucking with you. Yeah, we're taking him to court.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So,
yeah, see you in the courtroom. Congrats, you're going to prison, Floyd.
Secure everything, and everything is okay. I still got my private jets. Let me put an S on that because I got 3 of them. Still got my private jets. I still have all my beautiful homes. Still have all my properties everywhere, and still making millions every month.
In the ring. Logan Paul, who co-starred in one of the most watched exhibition bouts of the decade, claims the real fight didn't end with the final bell. According to him, it started when the cameras stopped rolling and the check never came. His story hit the internet like a gut punch, exposing a side of the Mayweather empire fans weren't supposed to see. This wasn't a salty promoter or a bitter rival talking in the shadows. This was someone who stepped into Floyd's world, signed the same deals, and played by the same rules. And now, he's calling foul. Meanwhile, Mayweather stays on brand, confident, unapologetic, and as flashy as ever. He continues to flaunt his success, reminding the world of the empire he built from grit, fists, and financial hustle.
When you are as great as Floyd Money Mayweather, everybody doesn't deserve to be in your space. I know you like to make money. You're never going to stop making money. Very, very few people on the planet know how to make money like you know how to make money. But some of this stuff has got to stop. You want to get Conor McGregor in the ring for an exhibition match? All right, that's fine. You know, Conor sold that. It was great marketing. He's not a boxer, but hey, he was a knockout artist in the UFC. I get it. Fair enough. But what I'm trying to say is this. When you're great, when you're elite, not just anybody deserves to be in your pristine space. And what I mean by that is I'm not talking about on the street or anything like that. Boxing is your thing.
His words are more than bravado. They're a flex meant to silence the noise. A declaration that, no matter the headlines, he's still winning. But not everyone's buying it. Critics like critics. Stephen A. Smith have taken aim at Floyd's recent choices, especially his decision to share the ring with non-boxers like Logan Paul. Smith sees it as a dangerous game. In his eyes, Floyd isn't just chasing checks. He's gambling with his legacy. For a fighter who wants to find perfection in the ring, exhibition matches like these feel less like strategy and more like desperation. Has the Money Mayweather myth finally crashed? Stephen A. Smith isn't denying Mayweather's genius when it comes to making money, but he's not sugarcoating the truth either. He's calling out the circus. Exhibition matches against YouTubers like Logan Paul, that's not boxing, he argues, it's noise. For Smith, every fight like this chips away at Floyd's legacy, trading glory for quick cash and headlines that do more harm than good. He says Floyd has nothing left to prove, so why risk his legendary name on spectacles that don't honor the sport? But maybe the real fight has nothing to do with the ring anymore. They say the higher you climb, the harder the fall. And for Floyd...
And it's crazy, but it's happening. Yeah, 50 Cent is pretty much exposing the fact that Floyd Mayweather is having issues, but it was not 50 that started it. It was actually Business Insider.
They got Floyd here. It says Floyd Mayweather is stepping into Manhattan's multi-family ring in a big way. The retired boxer has gone into a contract to pay $420 million for a 1,000-unit affordable housing portfolio with more than 60 buildings, according to sources familiar to the deal. Josh Gotti of Black Spruce Management is the seller, and Black Spruce Magazine declined comment. It says also here that the investor partnered with Maynard Orchard on a $1.8 billion deal for 1,766 units spanning 6 rental buildings and an acquisition of the American Cooper Building, twin luxury towers in Murray Hills with the view of
Mayweather, that fall might already be happening behind closed doors. The man who once counted stacks of cash on camera like it was sport, tossing money like confetti, is now being chased by lawsuits, hounded by unpaid debts, and shadowed by whispers of a collapsing financial empire. For years, Mayweather convinced the world he was untouchable, the king of pay-per-view, the icon of excess, the man who turned boxing into a billion-dollar brand. But what if it was all just smoke and mirrors? What if the jets, the bling, the bank slips were props in one of the biggest financial illusions the sports world has ever seen? And then came the $42 million scam, not just a headline, but a red flag waving high. Behind the designer suits, behind the filtered Instagram flexes, the truth about Floyd's finances is starting to bleed through. No PR team can spin this. No flashy clip can hide it. And if you thought that scandal was the final chapter, think again. This rabbit hole is deep, and it only gets darker. Because maybe Floyd Mayweather didn't just lose control of the narrative, maybe he lost control of the money too. Maybe this isn't just a man under pressure. Maybe